Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Dear Venerable Sangha, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekly Buddhist news in English on Phật sự online channel. There are 6 major news of the week. Hanam National Buddhism Conference 2020 on Clerical Skills inaugurated. Ho Chi Minh City, Dharma enactment section dignitaries visiting, offering and delivering sermon at the retreat of Vietnam Buddhist University. GIANG, massive requiem in commemoration of heroes, fallen soldiers and victims losing lives in battlefields. Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam Mendicant Order denomination organizes 6 training to enhance monastic ethic at MINH Monastery. NINH Summer Ascetic Course Return to Originality 2020 at BINH Pagoda. Official dispatch of measures to enhance prevention of COVID-19 in new situation. And following other news in details. On the morning of July 25, 2020, in the Cultural Center at Tam Chuk Pagoda, Hanam Province, the National Conference of Clerical and Secretariat Administration Training 2020 was solemnly inaugurated.
In witness, it was honored to have attendance of Most Venerable Thích Thiện Nhân, Chairman of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administration Council, the duties of Most Venerable of Thích Thiện Pháp and Thích Thanh Nhiễu, Co-Vice Chairman of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administration Council, Venerable Thích Đức Thiện, Vice Chairman General Secretary of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Most Venerable Thích Thanh Điện, Vice Secretary General Chapter of Office 1, Most Venerable Thích Huệ Thông, Vice Secretary General, Chapter Central Office 2, with the religious dignitaries and administrative monks of 63 provincial administration boards across the country. On the government side, the attendance were presented by Mr. Nguyễn Phúc Nguyên, Deputy Director of the Department of Buddhist Affairs of the Government Office of Religious Affairs. Speaking in his efforts of guidance, Most Venerable Thích Thiện Nhân hoped that through this conference, the sectarians and the clerical monks of the Sangha would play better their roles and tasks so that the Buddhist activity would gain good results in all aspects of dutiful activities, contributing to the overall achievements of the course of life and benefits of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. The Most Venerable highlighted 5 important content to implement consistently in order to bring about successes for the development of the Sangha integration in the coming time. Venerable Thích Đức Thiện respectfully appreciated the profound guidance from the Most Venerable Patriarch, Elder Master for the guidance in administration of Sangha over past decades, with his awakened concern how to improve the efficiencies of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha's administration and management. The Venerable stated and affirmed that during the periods of the international integration with the booming 4.0 industry, similar professional courses and training courses will help the monks and nuns to broaden their vision, accumulate more skill and professional skill, enabling their integrations in the areas of digital technology development. The shares of Venerable Thích Thiện Thống came next, and after that it was a discussion program to concern the comments and ideas. On July 26, 2020, in the afternoon, the Venerable Thích Minh Nhẫn delivered a presentation on application of the 4.0 Industrial Revolution in missionary work and Sangha administration.
On the morning of July 29, 2020, the delegation of dignitaries from Dharma enactment section, in association with the economic and financial section of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, visited Ho Chi Minh City Buddhist Sangha and Vietnam Buddhist University in Ho Chi Minh City.
The delegation was led by Most Venerable Thích Bảo Nghiêm, Vice Chairman of the Administration Council, Head of the Dharma Enactment Section of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, to be the leader of the delegation. Welcoming the delegation, there were Most Venerable Thích Trí Quảng, First Deputy Dharma's Master, Chairman of Council of Superintendents and Patrons, Head of Ho Chi Minh City Buddhist Sangha, Most Venerable Thích Giác Toàn, Vice Chairman of the Administration Council, Director of the Vietnam Buddhist Research Institute, Patron of Dharma Enactment Section, Most Venerable Thích Thiện Tâm, Vice Chairman of the Administration Council, patron of Dharma enactment section, and the religious dignitaries, and more than 800 monks and nuns accommodating in the place. Most Venerable Thích Giác Toàn delivered a speech to welcome the delegation. Representing the delegation, Most Venerable Thích Bảo Nghiêm said, to follow the teachings of Most Venerable Thích Trí Quảng, visiting and making offerings to the retreat is the sacred mission of the Dharma enactment section, a missionary branch. The predestined cause is to carry out the mission, bringing the teaching of the blessed Buddha everywhere. Standing by director of the institute, Venerable Thích Nhật Từ expressed his gratitude to the dignitaries from the Dharma enactment section, finance and economy section. Then he invited Most Venerable Thích Bảo Nghiêm to lecture a sermon as a discourse for the rain retreat season. In the morning of the same day, the delegation visited the retreat at Pháp Minh Pagoda and Linh Nguyên Original Temple, Long An Province. The Most Venerable praised the family of Mirror Trương Tấn Sang, late former president of the state, and his family, who had restored and renovated Pháp Minh Pagoda, and Most Venerable also encouraged the ascetic practitioners dwelling at the place.
On the morning of July 27, 2020, the dignitaries of Original Patriarch's Temple, Quỳnh Lâm, Quảng Ninh Province, traveled to Vị Xuyên Martyr Cemetery, Hà Giang Province, to perform a solemn commemorative ceremony to pray for heroes of martyrs and dead soldiers and civilian victims on the occasion of 73rd War Invalids in Martyrs' Day, July 27.
Accompanying the delegation, there were Most Venerable Thích Đạo Quang, members of the Administration Council, Vice Directors of Standing Committees of Provincial Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in Quảng Ninh, Chairperson of Original Patriarch's Temple, Quỳnh Lâm. Venerable Thích Giác Dũng, Chief Secretaries of the Superintendent's Council under the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha's Councils of Patrons, and many Buddhists among the attendants. The ceremony took place with rituals such as spirituous connection, requiem sighting, worshipping the great Buddha, worshipping of martyr heroes. In the early morning, each were the ceremonies of the offering incense, offer flowers to the monuments, offering incense to the commemorative heroes, and martyrs chanting Amitabha. In the afternoon of the same day, the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administration Board at Original Patriarch's Temple, Quỳnh Lâm, performed the Amitabha chanting, commemorating the heroic martyrs who sacrificed and fought during the resistance wars of Vietnamese nations, and praying for the national peace and harmony. On this occasion, the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in Quảng Ninh Province presented 200 gifts to the policy beneficiary people with meritorious services to the revolution equal 600,000 Vietnam dong.
In order to improve the monastic life of virtue and light of emancipation, enlightenment, and serve the Dharma for the young monks and nuns, the Mendicant Order denomination organized the course Training to Enhance Monastic Ethics on the morning of July 28, 2020 at MINH Monastery, Ho Chi Minh City.
In witness, it was honored to have Most Venerable Thích Giác Tường, member of Council of Patrons of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, ordinated dignitary of Mendicant Order denomination, Most Venerable Thích Giác Toàn, Vice Chairman of the Council of Patrons, Chairman of the Standing Committee of the denomination, Most Venerable Thích Giác Hà, member of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Council of Patrons, Vice Standing Chairman of the denomination, Most Venerable Thích Giác Minh, ordinated dignitary of the denomination, Associate Vice Priest 2. This sixth course, Training to Enhance Monastic Ethics, comprises 228 ascetic practitioners. This year's curriculum of the course, Training to Enhance Monastic Ethics, takes place from the 28th of July 2020 to the 6th of August 2020. After the setup of refuge session, Most Venerable Thích Giác Toàn gave instruction to the whole aggregation. Most Venerable expressed his joy when the course Training to Enhance Monastic Ethics was held as usual as has been run every year. Most of the young practitioners, enlightened to the truth of life, were ordained as monks. Most Venerable revealed through the golden age of Buddhism in Vietnam. Most Venerable had praised and reminded the members of the management board that they are in charge of extending the arms of the deities, nurturing and cultivating the body seeds in the followers to thoroughness, so relevant that the course would be meaningful and fruitful. In bestowing words of good faith, Most Venerable Thích Giác Tường encouraged the people during the rain retreat.
Following the success of the Return to Originality summer ascetic course in recent years, on the morning of July 26, 2020, at BINH Pagoda, Ninh Province, the monks began welcoming the students coming to the 8th summer retreat in 2020 with the theme Return to Originality.
Right from the early morning, the pupils, students from the northern provinces come to reciters with reached over 1,500 enrolled ascetic course attendance. The organizer issues the cards, uniform accommodations, and on-the-spot teams of artists and enthusiasts, volunteers make parents and their children feel composed and secure in safe hands. In particular, this year due to COVID-19 pandemic impact, the medical units of the retreat also actively carries out medical examinations, body temperature measurement, and adequate medical equipment. The candidates were informed about the rules of the ascetic course, the dignity to be reflected in the way to stand, to lie, to sit, and even the manners in eating, sleeping, and taking a break. At the same time, the candidates were taught to official songs of the retreat course, as well as getting familiar with the voice commands and signals during ascetic practice. The retreat aimed to create conditions for students to learn life skills, communicate in rewarding games, contribute to building trust and train in a virtuous, ethical ways of life, minimizing the negative afflictions of the present society. In his closing speech on the afternoon of July 28, 2020, the chief organizer of the retreat, Venerable QUANG, said that because the situations of COVID-19 pandemic were tending to get complicated in some localities, the retreat had to end earlier than the schedule. The Venerable believed that the knowledge and the beneficial experience from the retreat is the key for the ascetic practitioners and students to enter the priesthood of futures. The retreat organizer has also prepared 3,000 masks and antiseptic water to give to all the candidates as well as train for vehicle for those who has to travel far away from home.
On behalf of the Standing Committee of Administration Council, Most Venerable Thích Nhung, Chairman of Administration Council, signed the official dispatch number 173 HDTS VP1, dated July 30th, 2020, on strengthening the measures to prevent and control COVID-19 in the new situation.
The official dispatch to departments, Central Institute, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, provinces and city, Vietnam Buddhist Academy, Buddhist intermediate schools, Buddhist training institutions of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in provinces, cities, Buddhist monks and nuns in monasteries throughout the countries stipulate the following statements. Currently, the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in infected cases in the community of Da Nang City. Patients infected with SARS, CoV-2 have been reported in some provinces and cities such as Quảng Ngãi, Quảng Nam, Đắk Lắk, Ho Chi Minh City, and Hanoi. The control of outbreak this time is very complicated. Therefore, the Standing Committee of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha proposes strict measures elaborated in the following. Firstly, temporarily stop the organization of festival, fiesta, summer ascetic trainings and retreats for young people or mass gatherings. Secondly, consider the reschedule for organizing the Great Precept in consecrated Sima for ordination, as they had been approved by the Sangha. Thirdly, the vessel concentration in lower schools could be switched to the form of on-site retreat. Monks and nuns should stay in the dwelling places with mindset of Vasa to ensure safety in context of disease prevention. For lower school under Vietnam Buddhist Institute or the Buddhist training establishment, it is strictly enforced the confinement in the residence with no entries, no outings to ensure the health and safety for residential monks and nuns. Finally, measures to prevent and control COVID-19 epidemics such as regularly wearing masks, washing hands with soap or antiseptic water must be enhanced. It is compulsory to make medical declaration, self-isolation, and health monitoring if the person in question travels through the epidemic area. Awareness is raised about the risk of infection and outbreaks of the COVID-19 pandemic. Strictly comply with the requirements and regulations of local authorities in disease prevention. To implement social isolation and quarantine according to the Prime Minister Directive 15 and 16 at the request of local authorities. It is our request that you respectfully, the Central Institute, the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha of provinces and cities, and monks and Buddhists shall enact this official dispatch well in their organizations.
Venerable monks and nuns, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, the last news has signed up this weekly newsreel. Thank you for your attention and following. Goodbye and see you in the next program on PSO TV channel. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha.